Hi, this is Heidi from Garden Crossings, and I am going to be putting together my hanging baskets for my front porch. So you have the basket hangers, or at least we do, on our front porch. I'll have Marissa show you. And so I want them filled. So, you know, they're there, they're lit. I like all seasons of interest. So typically, if I'm feeling lazy one year or another, what I've done in the past is I've bought in a wreath, and I've kind of put some little things on it, and then I'll just set the wreath right on top of the hanging basket like that. And from a distance, it looks like I did something. But this year I'm feeling like a little bit more festive, and it's beautiful today. So I went out foraging, and I'm gonna actually like do these for real this year. None of this fake stuff. So what we have is, and this is what we're gonna start with, is some juniper. So I cut the branches pretty long because I also did a container, and obviously like this is gonna be way too long in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just trim this shorter. And when you're doing this, the soil in your container, it can be old soil. We dumped out our hanging baskets, so the old soil was not in here anymore, but just use your old soil. But make sure that you do it before it gets frozen, because this is extremely hard to do with frozen soil. So we're just gonna stick these in here like so. And I kind of am tucking them in on an angle so that they kind of aren't going to all go straight up. And I have 2 baskets, so hopefully I have enough of this juniper to do both the baskets. If not, this is a shrub that we actually trimmed or tore out from the Northern Michigan garden. So I still have it in our compost pile, so I can grab more if I need to, but I'm just gonna trim these shorter. One thing when working with juniper is you want to wear gloves because they are a slightly pokey plant, and I learned that the hard way. So I'm going to start sticking some into this one here as well. This is kind of like a chunky clunky piece, but it's okay. It'll be a nice filler. These are a little short, but that's all right. These are very short. We won't use those. So these are a little bit longer. I'm going to kind of put these on a pretty mean angle to shorten them up a little bit, but I want them to kind of wing out a little bit. Just feel like I got stuff everywhere, so kind of reaching in all directions to find my different pieces. Okay, so that one's pretty full. This one here needs a little bit more work. These are really long, so we'll shorten them up. These are kind of odd pieces, but they're really full. So we're going to go ahead and just shove those in here. Tuck some up in the front here. So with hanging baskets, you don't have like as much soil as what you do in like containers. So let's see here. I feel like this side's a little flat, so we're going to stick some over there. All right, so we'll see. We might have to put more in, but for now, this is good. All right, now I trimmed some yellow thuya from out back. So we're gonna tuck this in for splashes of color. I don't know if we'll actually see it once they're hanging, but hopefully. I'm gonna stick them towards the front. This one just seems so much, oh, look at there. I'm gonna pull some off. This piece just seems so much thicker. than what's going on here. So I'm gonna tuck these in here. Okay, so that's good like that. Also, I found some evergreen that is drapey. So see how that, see how that just kind of dangles? So we're gonna tuck some of this in the front of these baskets to drape over. These are a little bit trickier though because they're quite heavy, and you gotta get them tucked in far enough so that when they're hanging, they don't fall out. You know what? This one is so long. Better to cut things long than cut them short and wish you had them longer later. So I'll shove that in. Shove this. I'm going to do like groupings of 3 here. And I'm just going to do it in the front because I don't have a lot of this. Okay, so once we get these hung up, you'll be able to see how it hangs better. And then I've got some red twigs, which are obviously, this is dogwood, and this is way too tall for a hanging basket. So I'm gonna cut them in half. That way, I can put twice as many in. So some of them are, you know, that's kind of blunt, but I'm going to shove them right in the middle. Spread them out a little bit. I'm going to take, actually, this one here has got like a lot of branching, so I'm going to stick that one in there too because that'll give it a little bit more wispy character. So I think that's good there. Now we got to put the dangly branches into this one. And again, some of these two are quite long, so I'm going to cut them a little bit shorter. And we're going to shove one on the side over here. I might have to see if I can get more of this because I'm not sure how one is going to look. Probably should have been groupings. So we'll shove that in there. And then we're going to get some more red twigs. And because this is the last that I need of this bundle, although these are very straight. There's not a lot of branching on these particular ones. So they might just look more straight twiggy than branched out like they do in my container. So shoving these in is kind of hard once you have all that greenery in there, but it can be done. All right, so once I get them hung, I'll have to see if they're like the same height. If not, I might kind of trim them a little bit, but for now I think these are good. I'm going to get them hung up in the basket holders, and if I need to do any tweaking, I'll go ahead and show you any tweaking that needs to be done. All right, so the baskets are ready. These are our i3 planters. I don't know if you can tell or not, but they're lit and the light's actually on right now because it's getting darker. I'm going to go ahead and set this liner into the basket, and hopefully I can do it without spilling. So far, so good. Get these arms in the right spots. Also, I'll find out if my dangly, yep, all right. So because the way it's sitting up there, I'm gonna do a little arranging here. Get these dangly pieces in the right spot. I don't know, maybe we need to get a little more. Also this yellow thuya, whoa, ended up at the back of the pot, which is not where I wanted it. So I'm gonna go ahead and just tuck it up here in the front. I'm gonna step around and take a look from your angle. looks like it needs a little something more. So I'm gonna probably be putting some more juniper in, and I'm gonna do something a little different with those dangling pieces because I'm not loving it. So actually, the dangling coming out, and they're just gonna be one giant dangler up front. Hopefully that doesn't look weird. Hopefully that didn't sound weird. Okay. Oh, that worked well for me. They're not liking getting poked in. All right, so I don't know, maybe I'll look at it and we'll see how that looks. So, all right, one hung. We're gonna do some filling in a minute, but let's get the other one hung up and see how that one looks. All right, now that I have these hung, I see that I do need a little bit more in them. So I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of stick a few more branches just kind of in the front because nobody sees them from the back anyways. So I'm not really worried about the back. And who knows? Like, really, do my neighbors care what these look like? Probably not. But at least they are filled and look like something. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and do just a couple more right up in front here. And that's what I'm gonna leave it. That looks good enough. Now let's look over to the other one here a minute. I think I'm gonna stick just a couple in up front here. Maybe up front here. There. Good enough. They're filled. They look like holiday, they look like winter, and they look pretty at night. They look good from a distance. And yeah, I think that's gonna be good. I could put a little bow on them or something, but I don't wanna like be overkill because that's not really my style. So I think for these hanging baskets, this is good. I'm ready to call them complete.